So we have started with, I've already prepped her skin and I've put her foundation on. This beauty blender is not fully wet, it's just a little damp from all of the facial sprays that I put. And now I'm going to go ahead and conceal. I'm going to show you how I do that while I contour, because I'm gonna actually contour and highlight, not necessarily conceal for concealing purposes. So I'm gonna go in with this contour and highlight palette by Anastasia, and I'm gonna use this shade to contour, this shade to bronze, and this shade to highlight a little bit. I just want the placement of the color for now, and then I'll go in and blend it out later. But I want it all placed first. That way it has time to like sit, and then we're gonna move it around. So it's gonna depend on your actual face shape, where you're gonna place your bronzer and contour. And you can find a guide on Google, but this is just where you're gonna, since she has somewhat of a round face, we're gonna focus our contouring all on the side, and that's gonna make her face more symmetrical. If you have an oval face, you're gonna focus it on the hollows of your cheeks. And then your heart face, you're gonna focus it all on the top parts of your face, from like your temples to the hollows of your cheeks. And that's gonna be for everyone. For your rectangle face, you're gonna wanna hollow out the problem areas that you have. So for a rectangle face, you're gonna want to contour the sides of your chin, the hollows of your cheeks, and your forehead. And then your square face, you're gonna contour, whereas she has a round, and we're gonna contour the sides of her face. For a square, you're gonna contour the like hollows of the cheeks and the jaw, also the forehead. So this is just a guide to help you before we get started on where your perfect placement is going to be for your face shape. So for her, we're going to focus our contour all along the sides. So right here. Turn this way. Perfect. And right now I'm just focusing it on placement. I'm not trying to blend it out yet at all. I'm just showing you where I'm going to place it for her. Looks forward. Look, you can already see how much definition this side has, and I have not even put a lot yet. I'm just building it up right now. Okay. So we're focusing on the sides of her face, and now I really want that color in because I want it to show on camera. For an actual client or for personal, like if you're going somewhere, I wouldn't normally put this much on, but since it's on video, I do have to have a little bit of a heavier hand. Move forward. You can just see how much that gave her definition, and it's not blended at all or anything yet. This is going to be the same thing for your nose contour as well. You're going to want to only contour for the way your nose is shaped. She literally has the perfect nose. So we're just going to make that stand out a little bit, because once you have all your makeup on, it kind of fades away and it fades into your face. So we're going to just make her nose stand out and show off like her perfect featured nose. Okay? So now we're going to blend this out. And I'm going to show you this side, and I'm not going to do this side yet, just so you can see the difference of what contouring makes. But for now, I'm going to highlight because I need it to sit a little bit. And I'm going to use just a much lighter concealer than I would usually use on her for this, because we really want this to stand out. And this is going to be the same thing with that guide. For a round face, we're going to want this to stand out and this to lift her face up, because we're really trying to make her face longer. I'm just pressing it in with the warmth of my skin so that we're really activating that product. And we're going to want a lot of highlighting right here. So whereas for me personally, I would highlight all of this. We're not going to highlight all of this for her because we really want to slim this side down and lift this up. So I'm not going to go in that much on the inside. And I'm going to do this side of her nose contour as well so you can see how I do that. So for the nose, I like to start in the crease and connect it in. So that way it's all united in one. There's not going to be any lines when I'm done with all of this. We're literally just making her nose shape stand out. And I don't really have to do a lot of correcting on her nose. To whereas I slim it, so I pinch it in on here. We don't have to do that with her. So we just wanted to stand out. Her actual nose shape, how it is already, it's perfect. So we're not going to slim it down or change it that much. And that's what we're going to do for her nose. Okay, so now I'm going to contour the other side and then we'll blend it in. Go down. I've already contoured both sides of the face. Turn this way and then the other way. Okay, I'm going to add just a little bit more right here. And then I'm going to go down the side of her nose. I mean the bridge of her nose. It's going to add more prominency and make it really pop. Okay, so now I'm just going in with a very thin brush. And I'm going to draw a line down the nose. That's it. That's all we're doing to the nose. So now that I've let the concealer sit, I'm going to blend it out with my little baby foundation brush. This one. And we're going to blend that concealer out. I let it sit so it's going to be, the coverage is going to be there and I'm not going to take a lot away. That's why I don't like using the beauty blender for this step, because that beauty blender, if you wet it, it's going to take that coverage off for you. And we want the coverage there. We'll take that cakiness away in another method. But I want that coverage there. Since I don't use a lot of foundation, I use one pump. I want all the coverage I can get from my concealers and my correctors. So I'm just pressing all of that concealer into the skin. I just bounce the brush up and down. When you rub too much, it takes the product away. So we just want to bounce it in. Just like if it's a beauty blender, but it's a brush. That's what's going to give you that flawless finish. Close your eyes. Okay, and now we're going to blend out the contour. I like to use a mini stippling brush to blend this out. And all I'm going to do, this brush has very weird hairs, so I could get away with going in circles like I do with the eyeshadow, with the contouring. This is my favorite brush for contouring. It really makes it so much easier, because I know contouring, it's annoying because you're blending it all in, but then you take it away, and so you have to do it a couple times, but that's why I do like to go in with powder contours on top, because it makes all that work you did stand out. because I want lines, but I don't, if that makes sense. I want for your features to stand out, but I don't want lines. I don't like the look of it. Okay, so that's as much as I can blend it out with this brush. I can't do any more. Look this way. So that's okay though. When I did her foundation, I used a brush. Whatever's on that brush, that's all I'm going to use to blend the rest out. Don't have to add any more. And when you blend your nose contour, you want to go up. Because if you go down, it's going to drag into that concealing that you did. And you don't want that because it's going to change your nose shape in an unflattering way. So always blend your nose contour up. Okay, now I'm going in with my foundation brush. And I'm going to clean all of that. So I'm going where the foundation was first. Where I didn't contour and I didn't highlight. And I'm bouncing the brush in those areas. Forehead. And up on the nose. Just everywhere. I just want all of this to blend and be seamless. And now I'm going in on top of everything. And it might look like, oh man, all that work is gone. No, not yet. Just wait. Because we still haven't baked, and that's going to give you more highlighting. And then we're going to powder contour, so it's all going to come back. But in a much more skin-like way. So once we're done with this, this is as good as a blend as I want. Look that way. Very seamless. Looks almost invisible, but it's not. Because that's going to be the base for our contouring colors. Okay? Now, I'm going to spray her. And I'm going to go in with the Beauty Blender that I used for the foundation. It's not wet. And I'm going to press all of that spray that I just put on into her skin. So it's going to prevent us from being cakey. And it's going to just smooth everything once again. Okay, and that's how you cream, contour, and highlight. Look at how beautiful that is. So I'm going to go in with my powder first. I'm going to use a Charlotte Tilbury one. And I'm going to press this all into the concealer that I put. Reason why I'm not going straight in with the translucent powder is because it gets so sticky, like it'll stick to it and it'll stay there, and I don't want it that light under there. Into her smile lines. Everywhere there's no contour. Because the contour I'm going to set with the powder contour. Then I'm going to go in with my actual powder. And I use several different ones. That's why I've never showed y'all before, because this is literally all I have because I make it. I like just put a bunch of different powders in a container. And I shake it up. Okay. So now I'm pressing the powder into the blender. And I'm really packing that on. Because now I want the lightness. And it's not going to, I don't want it to stick as much. So bringing it up the sides of the nose, but not too high up because I don't want to cover the contouring that I did. And then right here, just to clean up the jawline. And right here. And And I don't like to leave this on. For myself, I do leave it on because I want it, I use it as my little concealer catcher. But on my clients, and if you're personally doing it, I don't like to leave it on too long because you don't need it on too long and it'll make you cakey. So, this is when I contour with powders. So I'm going to use the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. I'm going to use my NARS contour brush. I'm really packing that contour powder on. And we're going to go over every single place we put that cream contour in. I'm just going to do one side so you can see that I want that, I'm bringing that shadow back. So wherever I put that cream contour, I'm going to powder contour. Side of the nose. That's the powder contour side, and that's just all my creams. Okay, so now I'm going to do the other side, and I'm going to wipe away all that highlighting. Just using a brush like this, we're going to want to sweep it. And sometimes I'll do the contour and highlight first and then my foundation. Sometimes I'll do the foundation first and then my contour and highlight. It just depends on what I'm going for or where I'm going. Because I feel like when you do your foundation first, you're going to get a more prominent contour and highlight. And if you want it more natural, you can do your contour and highlight first and then your foundation on top of it. Let me just contour the side of the nose. Remember, you're going up with the nose all the time. No matter where your placement is for your nose shape, you're going to want to go up. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with a highlighter. This is So Hollywood by Anastasia, and I'm going to use a highlighter brush. And I hold my brush at the end because I don't want a lot of highlight. I just want her to glow from within. We're putting it right a little bit on top of the blush because we still want everything going upwards for her face shape. Down the bridge of the nose. Here and in the center, just to make that pop a little even more on the chin, make her chin more prominent, and then we are going to blend that in again, because I don't like a lot. Look at how she's just glowing. Look a little more this way. Just glowing. Okay, not highlighted. Okay, we're pressing all that in. Do her eye makeup, her lip, and we'll come back with the final results.